So what can we do in our own neighborhoods at a grassroots level to help with birds, the recovery of birds?
Yeah, great question.
And also, to back that up, should we be feeding birds in our yards?
Yeah, so in terms of what we can do to help birds surviving in our local neighborhoods, there's a couple of things. Number one, and things not to do. Stay away from lawn chemicals.
Yes.
The lawn chemicals, even the most benign ones, are just terrible for birds.
Okay.
Some of them are actually genuinely dangerous.
What about organic?
But mostly, the idea of a lawn is to have an open space, right?
Yes.
You can have a lawn with open space and maintain open space without using chemicals. The positives of that are that the lawn is filled with little organic things, little bugs, little crawlies, little spiders, little worms, little things that are actually the kinds of things that support birds. So you'll get robins and cardinals and flickers and sparrows of a variety of kinds feeding on your lawn, whereas a lawn chemical destroys all that.
The golf courses are really bad, aren't they?
Well, golf courses are actually getting better at understanding how little they can use to be able to make the golf course playable, but still be genuinely healthy for birds.
Great.
But the other big important thing one can do is plant native landscapes, shrubs, shrubs that produce berries for birds in the winter are great, like high bush cranberries and crab apples and things like that. So planting is great. Having a little water around is a very big attractant, especially in some areas that can get hot and dry, like we are here in Sun Valley.
Great.
So basically providing habitat. And another thing that I really stress: leave your dead trees.
Yes, you did talk about that.
Humans are so worried about having a dead tree because it's so-called unsightly. I think of it as a natural sculpture.
Okay.
And there are lots of birds that actually depend on dead trees, either for using as perches for sallying out after insects like flycatchers do, or they actually are feeding on the variety of life that's growing inside the recently dead or dying bark of a dying tree.
Right.
So healthy forests are filled with dead and dying things, and leave them there. That's a part of the natural scene.
Well, good. And then I had a silly question I wanted to ask you, but I've always wondered, I've been traveling quite a bit lately, and I'm always looking for birds. I love them so much. And I notice that they have an accent in, like, a blackbird over there might have a different sound to me than a blackbird in Idaho. Yeah. And my friends make fun of me, but I wanted to ask the expert.
No, you're absolutely correct. That's a very astute observation of yours. Birds are very famous, actually, for having dialects, local dialects.
Even the same species, subspecies?
Same species.
Okay.
You can listen to a song sparrow in Maine or Massachusetts, and it will sound quite different from a song sparrow in Minnesota, from a song sparrow in Idaho, a song sparrow in California. Same is true. Actually, one of the most famous bodies of work on the evolution of dialects is with birds. In particular, this bird called white-crowned sparrow. Oh. Very famous for the studies of the dialects in local valleys. Each valley, each mountaintop has a slightly different version of the basic song of the white-crowned sparrow.
How interesting.
And it turns out they actually learn their songs from where they're growing up. So they're hearing mom and dad and the neighbors sing, and they actually pick up that song. And which is a little bit how human dialects have evolved through the ages, right? The local language starts to sound a little different.
Yeah, it gets isolated somewhat.
Right, and the kids learn what mom and dad sound like, and they start talking like that.
So have you read?
You're absolutely right. Birds have clearly have.
That's good to know. Okay, and then I recently read. It's a bestseller. I picked it up in an airport on one of my travels. And The Genius of Birds.
Oh, yes, sure.
Yeah, have you read that?
I have.
I loved that book so much, about how intelligent these little creatures are. And it was so fascinating.
Amazingly evolutionarily adapted to doing well what they needed to stay alive.
Yes.
Whether that's remembering where they put their peanuts or their acorns. I mean, birds, for example, certain birds have much better spatial memories than you and I do. You can remember where you put your glasses down next door, but can you remember where you put some little tool that you used 6 months ago? Likely not. Birds are able to actually carry these spatial memory things for months and months and months on end. And the biologists who've been studying this have actually tested them against graduate students and young professors. And the birds do way better than the people do in remembering where they put little items of food that they're going to uncache months later.
It's just fascinating. I wanted to touch on that beautiful film that you showed a clip of. And do you want to talk about that project?
You're talking about the Philippine
Yes,
project.
yes.
Well,
That was just powerful.
Thank you. At the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, we have a group called the Conservation Media Group.
Yes.
This is a group of professional media filmmakers that are now specializing in working with partner organizations around the world who need to have a story told in order to accomplish a specific conservation goal. And we can listen to the story. We can figure out how to shoot it. We have the expertise and the world-class filmmakers to do the story, edit it in a variety of ways, either for one long piece like the Philippine Eagle movie that you saw a trailer of, or actually make very small pieces for online viewing or for media that is used by teachers in schools. And the basic idea in the Philippine Eagle is that that bird is now down to the last few hundred individuals.
It's so
It's
sad.
the world's rarest eagle, and it's the Philippine national bird.
Oh, and they're so beautiful.
Saving the Philippine eagle means saving the last 5% of the
Yes.
tropical forest in the Philippines, and that's what these not-for-profit groups in the Philippines are trying to do. So we've helped them tell the story in ways that are moving to all the lawmakers and all the school teachers and all the kids across the Philippines.
Yes.
That's our job, is to be able to tell stories in places where that can make a big difference in conservation of natural areas and systems.
Well, I was just so impressed with what work you're doing at Cornell Lab and helping the world and the birds. And you said that the reason the birds can save the world is because in order to save the birds, we have to save the environment around these birds, which
That's exactly right.
in turn is helping save the planet.
Right, and birds give us the motivation for doing it because
Yes.
the world, we all know instinctively, everybody knows the world is, we're better off, we humans are better off being able to see and enjoy these songsters and birds that can fly and dance and
Right.
sing and migrate. We're better off having them here than not having them here. The consequence of that is it makes us want to save natural systems and literally save the world.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we leave?
I think you've done a pretty good job.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right. Well, it's been such a pleasure having you here today. Thank you
you.
so much.
It's been fantastic
and
talking with you.
how can people learn more about your work and what you're doing and if they'd like to get more involved?
Absolutely. There are a couple of different ways. Number one, our website is always there. You can go to either
Which is?
birds.cornell.edu
Okay.
or just remember allaboutbirds.org.
I like that.
Allaboutbirds.org.
Okay.
The other thing you can do actually is download Merlin on your phone.
Oh,
Go to, that's free. Go to
Okay.
either the Android shop or the iPhone shop. Download Merlin Bird ID from Cornell. It's free and it will allow you anywhere in the world to identify the birds. you're
oh, I
looking
didn't even know about this. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. Yay.
So-
I can't wait.
Yeah, so I encourage everybody to put Merlin on their phones.
Okay.
Again, it's free and it's a fantastic
That's my
tool for
cat's name.
identifying. No
My
kidding.
cat's name is Merlin.
Terrific name.
It is a good name. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Really
Thanks for having
appreciate
me
it.
here.
Okay, hope to meet again.
Yes,
Teach you some
definitely.
painting.
Let's do some.
He
of
likes to
that.
paint, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.